Hello, my name is Janisha Bergwin, and I never seen this movie. This was my first time watching it on Disney Plus, so I had to take great amount of notes on it. So some of the characters I may like their names I may not really know all the way, but just bear with me, okay? But it was a really great movie, and I'll probably most definitely watch it again. So the first question, what trauma event that occurred in the movie? I believe that the trauma event that occurred in the movie was centered on the grandma past. When she and her husband were forced to leave their home, he eventually got killed and put the grandma in a position that she had to raise the children by herself. That traumatic experience shaped the grandma character and her desire to protect her family at all costs. It also serves as the emotional foundation for the family's magical gifts, but also the source of the tension that drives the plot, as the grandma's fear of losing the magical miracle causes her to put immense pressure on her family. Number two, how does the family deal with the multi-generational trauma, and how does it influence the relationship they have with one another? I would say that the grandma fear-driven need for perfection and protection put great amount of pressure on the entire family, especially the younger generation. It created a culture for the family where the individual worth is tied all around the magical gifts that they was given, leading to unspoken stress. Each family member analyzes the trauma differently, believing that their value comes from their magical gifts rather than, basically who they were. For example, like Isabella, she is expected to be perfect, flawless child, and she feels trapped in her role, unable to express her true self. Louisa was the gift of the strength, carries the emotional weight of the family, and that puts a burden on her, causing deep anxiety as she fears she will fail to uphold her responsibility. And Mirabelle, who did not receive a magical gift, feels excluded and unworthy, which put a great hold on her relationship with the grandma that causes her to question her place in the family. Eventually, as the movie goes on, the grandma acknowledged the trauma that she has carried since her loss, and how her fear of losing the miracle has caused her to bring harm into the family. At that moment, her self-awareness allowed her and her entire family to begin healing. They began to value one another not only for their gifts but for their individual worth. That acknowledgement of trauma is essential for the family to reconnect on the emotional level and allow them to break free from the cycle of the multi-generational trauma. Number three, is there a character that you can relate to when you feel stressed? I would say the aunt. I don't even know her name. I'm sorry. The one that controls the weather with her emotions. I say I can relate to her because when I'm feeling stressed, I feel as if my emotions are overwhelming, or that I have to keep my stress hidden from others, so I won't put a burden on anyone else because of what I have going on. And it allowed me to connect with her because with her without her speaking on her emotions, or without speaking off her stress, um the weather, which shows the way she's feeling. So to try to keep it all hidden inside so things cannot be shown to others, I feel like that was a really great way to relate to her, the aunt, as to being in a position of being stressed. Number four, if I had Bruno come to me in a session, what are some things you would want to address with him? Some things that I would want to address with him would be: number one, feelings of rejection and isolation. I would help Bruno basically explore how the rejection has affected his sense of self-worth, and his ability to connect with others in his family and his community. Number two, I would analyze the blame and shame. Even though he was basically just like the messenger, he was blamed for the outcomes. We would work on separating Bruno's identity from the family's view of his gift, and address the guilt and shame he carries for events that was basically beyond his control. And number three, I will address the impact of hiding and self-sacrifice. Basically, he believed that by removing himself, he was doing what was best for the family, even though it caused him great loneliness. I would encourage Bruno to explore that emotional toll this took on him, and the ways in which it prevented him from living a fulfilling life. Number 5, what were your takeaways from the podcast? Did anything surprise you from the professional takeaways? I would say no, nothing really surprised me from the professional takeaways other than their entertainment and with them connecting the society through this film. I really did enjoy the podcast. I enjoyed how it explored into the psychological point of view of the characters and how their experiences reflect broader things into the society. I did like it when she had spoke about basically when people try to control themselves, they tend to try to take the world along with them within trying to control the world as well, and that you tend to lose sense of yourself trying to focus on being perfect, especially since how the grandma basically started off with everything having to be a certain way within the family members that did carry the magical gifts, and unlike Mirabelle that didn't have the magical gift, basically she couldn't be perfect because she didn't have what was gifted along with the rest of the family. So I like the way that they connected that into the sense of the movie. So that would be it. Thank you.